Yo guys, we just got a crazy leak about rubber rework, and I have to say, I did not expect this. But before we get into that, if you want a chance to win a permanent pain fruit, you must watch this video until the very end. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below a secret code that I'll reveal at the end of the video. I'll be picking one lucky winner, so stick around for that. Now let's rewind for a second. Back in Bulletin 10, the devs showed us that 3 fruits were on the way. The first one was Rumble, which dropped in week 2 of the update cycle. The second was Pain, which came alongside Sharkman Karate in week 3. But that left one final fruit, sitting right in the middle slot of the teaser. And here is where it gets really interesting. If you look closely at that teaser art, the center fruit isn't glowing pink like Pain or gray like Bomb Theories. Instead, it has this whitish aura. And for anyone who's been watching the One Piece anime recently, that aura should look familiar. It's the same kind of energy that fans associate with Gear 5 Luffy, bright, otherworldly, and completely different from anything else. It almost feels like the devs are teasing something that ties directly to the main character of One Piece himself. And when you think about it, that choice of color can't just be random. The devs love planting subtle hints that get fans talking. White aura doesn't match Quake. It doesn't really fit Bomb either. Instead, it points toward something more symbolic, something tied to legacy, hype, and the anime's peak. Could it be that the missing fruit has been right in front of us the whole time, and the white glow is the biggest clue of all? Of course, people immediately started guessing the usual suspects. Quake was at the top of the list. It's an OG legendary fruit. It hasn't had a big rework in forever, and lore-wise it's one of the most powerful devil fruits in the entire series. Updating it with new effects and animations would make sense. Bomb also came up a lot in discussions. It's one of the oldest fruits in the game, and giving it flashy new explosion mechanics would definitely shake up the meta. Both of these options sound good on paper, and that's exactly why so many people believed one of them had to be the third fruit. But here is the issue. Neither of those fruits explains the aura. Quake should give off seismic waves, blue, gray, maybe even crackling white energy like an earthquake. Bomb would lean more toward orange or fiery effects, representing ash and shrapnel. Neither perfectly fits the glowing white vibe we saw in that teaser. And that's when things started to get really interesting. Because what if the aura wasn't pointing toward Quake or Bomb at all? What if it was actually a nod to something else entirely? Something tied directly to the main character of the entire One Piece story. That's where the theory takes a huge turn. This is where rubber enters the conversation. Now I know what you're thinking, rubber. The fruit everyone memes on. The fruit people only use for fun but never take seriously in PvP? Yeah, that one. But hear me out. Rubber has been in desperate need of a rework for years. It's outdated, clunky, and nowhere near as competitive as the modern fruits we've been getting. The devs know this. And what better way to finally give it justice than to turn it into the showpiece of the update cycle? And let's not forget, the timing is perfect. Right now, One Piece is at its absolute peak with Gear 5 Luffy. The white aura ties directly into that form. The hype around the anime is bigger than ever, and the Blox Fruits devs have a golden opportunity to capitalize on that moment. Imagine a rubber rework that brings in iconic moves straight from Luffy's arsenal. Gum Gum Pistol, Gatling, Bazooka, and even transformations inspired by Gear 2, Gear 3, and Gear 4. It would instantly elevate rubber from being a joke fruit to one of the most iconic in the entire game. But let's slow down for a second, because the possibilities here go way deeper than just some flashy animations. Think about Gear 2. Faster movement, speed buffs, and maybe even a short cooldown dash mechanic. Gear 3 could make your character's limbs gigantic for a single devastating strike, crushing enemies in PvP and wiping groups in raids. Gear 4 could add an entirely new stance with boosted combo potential, letting you chain abilities in ways no other fruit can. And if they really go all in, Gear 5 could be the ultimate transformation, coating your character in that cartoon-like aura while giving you temporary access to reality-bending moves that feel unstoppable. And here is something not many people are talking about, how perfectly this lines up with the devs' history of saving their flashiest updates for moments of peak hype. Remember when Dragon was reworked? It wasn't just about new abilities, it was about creating a cinematic experience that felt like an anime boss fight. The rubber rework could follow the same formula, except this time it ties directly into one of the most beloved protagonists in anime history. That level of hype isn't just smart design, it's marketing genius. Now imagine what that means for PvP balance. Right now, the meta is built around range and utility. Doe dominates with its stuns, Leopard crushes with mobility, and Dragon overwhelms with raw power. A rubber rework done properly could carve out its own lane as the ultimate combo fruit. Stretching attacks could give it unpredictable range, while gear transformations would provide different modes for different situations. A fast-moving Gear 2 user could weave in and out of combat, while a Gear 4 stance could completely overwhelm slower opponents. Suddenly, Every fight becomes less about camping and more about adaptability. And don't forget about PvE. Rubber right now is clunky in raids and boss fights. It just doesn't have the tools to compete with high-damage fruits. But a rework could change all of that. Imagine rocketing across the raid map, smacking entire waves of mobs with giant fists, or finishing bosses with cinematic Gear 3 slams. The devs have been pushing for more fruits to shine in group content, and Rubber could finally join the ranks of viable raid fruits. Now let's talk about the economy side of things. We all know what happens whenever a fruit gets a rework. It skyrockets in demand. Just look at what happened with Dough and Dragon after their changes. Players scrambled to get their hands on them, trades went crazy, and values spiked overnight. Rubber, which is currently sitting at the bottom tiers in trading, could suddenly flip the entire market upside down. Everyone will want it, not just for PvP or PvE, but because of the sheer hype factor. The moment Gear 5 is teased, this fruit is going to become legendary. And here is where it gets even crazier. A fan-made version of the Rubber rework has already been making waves online. The animations show actual stretching mechanics, with arms whipping out across the map, rocket dashes that fling your character forward, and Gear 3-inspired giant fists slamming down with shockwaves that shake the battlefield. There are even concepts for a Gear 4 form, where your character becomes coated in haki, glowing with energy as you unleash a flurry of high-speed punches. If the devs borrow even half of these ideas, we're looking at one of the most exciting reworks in Blox Fruit's history. And here is one more thing that keeps the anticipation sky-high. The devs love to leave trails of breadcrumbs. Auras, teaser art, vague leaks. They know exactly how to get the community speculating. If the white aura really is a nod to Gear 5, then we're not just getting a rework. We're getting a moment where Roblox itself pays tribute to one of the most iconic anime transformations of all time. That's the kind of update that doesn't just shake up the game, it cements it in gaming culture. And this is where the hype really builds, because the devs have a history of saving their best surprises for last. Bulletin 10 showed us 3 fruits. 2 are out, 1 is left. And we're entering the exact point in the update cycle where a rework like this could drop. The white aura isn't just a design choice, it's a signal that the most anticipated rework of the year is about to arrive. So here is the big theory. The devs promised us 3 fruits in Bulletin 10. We've already gotten Rumble, we've already gotten Pain, and that mysterious 3rd slot glowing with a white aura, it's Rubber. A fully reworked Rubber fruit, inspired directly by Luffy himself, complete with stretching physics, transformations, and hype animations. But what do you guys think? Is Rubber finally about to get the love it deserves? Is this really the missing fruit from Bulletin 10? Or do you think the devs have something else hidden up their sleeves? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And of course, here is the giveaway code. Gear 5 is coming. Make sure you comment that down below for a chance to win that permanent Pain fruit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. For bonus giveaway points, make sure you comment, Captain Monk Goat. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.